What's going on, beautiful people of the Bay? It is Carlos Rojas, your real estate agent here in the Tampa Bay area with Frank the Bank.
What's up?
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Frank? How you doing, man?
Man, I tell you what, Carlos, I'm having a day.
Yeah.
I'm having a day. You
I
know a
see
little
you,
bit
man.
about my day. I'm having a day. But you
see
know what
you,
I'm
man.
doing, baby? I'm smiling.
That's right. Hey, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle, man.
No, he doesn't. That's right.
And just so you know, I just want to let you know that you're a great leader, man. I really do feel that.
Thank
From
you.
the moment I met you, I know you lead your team right, and you have a bunch of people that have been with you for a while. So I just want to make sure that, I state that out there for anybody that may need to hear it. If you ever happen to work for this man right here, you'll probably, be honored to do so. All right, let's go
Thank
ahead
you,
and
man.
start our program right here. I'm sorry.
that means a lot, bro.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, hey, different ways to buy a home nowadays. And let me tell you, we have the new buyer agreement right now that's happening. We got all the information on that from a realtor's point of view, from a mortgage point of view.
Oh, yeah.
If you're questioning whether you should be signing this agreement, why you need to sign it, or anything like that, we're going to be going over that. We have a message directly from a Democrat. That a former Democrat that is now a Republican, recently switched, and she got some really strong things to say that she's just spitting fire, honestly.
Yeah.
The Georgia court found thousands of ballots that were missing and didn't get counted. We got, that video in here where they're gonna open the case. They voted to reopen the case and, investigate a little bit more on that. And we also have local news. Couples got robbed at the casino. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Hold on.
Wait. You mean they went and lost their money?
No, hold on. They hit jackpot on the casino, and on their way home, they got robbed at gunpoint. The husband got injured, like from he got shot.
He got shot.
Yeah, man. So in other words,
Inside job.
If you go to the casino, well, that's what I was thinking, Frank. Man, we think alike. Okay, if you go to the casino, be careful. Maybe you want to carry with you because.
So they followed him home or something like that?
Yeah, they followed him home.
Pulled up next to him?
Yeah, and at his house, there's video evidence and everything. So we'll be able to show that to you guys.
Wow.
And lastly, rates dropped again. One more time. Good news again for you buyers out there. Take advantage now. Let's go ahead and get this started. What's going on, everybody? This is We the People, a real estate podcast. Let's begin. All right. So like I said, rates dropped again. And guess what? Google finally updated.
I saw
stuff.
that. Do we have it on there?
Yeah, we got it right here.
This morning I did a presentation at Real Producers and I pulled it up right before I went on stage. I'm like, let me see if they updated.
Yeah, look at that. We got a 7.1.
right.
That's what they're showing. Frank, what are you getting people right now? What's going on?
Okay, so there's three rates. 7 on the screen, 7.1 conventional, and then they've got the FHA and VA on another screen. It said 6.5. So conventional, we are locking under 6%. Literally over a point and a quarter lower, 5.875 conventional. And of course, APR on that is about 6.3 and still almost a point lower than that on the APR. And then FHA and VA are in the low fives, 5.25. Now, guys, listen, full disclaimer, you are going to, by the way, APR and that's about 5.5. You are going to have to pay something if you want that rate because that's like the bottom barrel rate that I've got on the sheet. But the beauty of it is if the Google over here is saying 7.1%, and I could get you 6.5 and you pay nothing. No extra fees, no BS. Or shit, if I gave you 7.1, it's probably not even on my rate sheet. I'll give you that, and I'll give you like a $5,000 credit off your closing costs. That's how bad these Google rates are right now.
Frank, I had a client that asked me a question on this, and I knew how to answer it, but I want to make sure that you do it from your mortgage side. So if I'm a first-time home buyer, and I can get approved for both FHA or conventional first time. The conventional is 3% down. FHA is 3.5, correct?
Right.
All right. So if I'm gonna buy, and which one would be my better option in terms of FHA versus conventional for that? Because I know that conventional has a little bit of a higher rate, but the PMI is lower. Is that correct?
Man, you nailed it, dude.
Come on, man. I know this stuff.
So actually,
I'm about to get licensed.
You should.
I've been wanting to. I think it's about time. It's gonna happen.
So that's actually, dude, that's a question that I think a lot of people should ask themselves, and I don't think a lot of bankers explain that. So that this first time, I'm glad you asked that question. So there's a few major differences in FHA and conventional financing. Number one, Carlos said it. The FHA, first of all, you have to put 3.5% down. Conventional, as a first-time home buyer, you could put 3% down. FHA is always going to have lower interest rates than conventional, but conventional will have a little bit cheaper mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is PMI. Every FHA loan has PMI regardless of how much money you put down. Conventional, if you put 20% down, there is no PMI. But here's another major benefit to conventional is that you can drop the PMI on a conventional loan without refinancing.
Right. After you have 20% equity.
Yeah.
on
All you have
the
to do is
house.
pay for an appraisal. You don't have to refi. So you're not subject to new rates. You can just drop the PMI. So that's a major benefit. But why would somebody choose FHA over conventional? They wouldn't, because if they're qualified conventional, we're going to give them conventional because that's better. Here's the kicker. FHA is more lenient. FHA, you can go down to 500 credit score. Conventional, it is 620. Every lender in the country, no exceptions, right? So more people.
I thought it was 720.
620.
Okay.
620. So more
Did that
people.
change, or-
No, 620. Somebody, bad info, misinformation. Anyway, no. So more people qualify for FHA, and you can have a lower credit score and still get a good rate FHA. To where Fannie Mae, if you're in the 620s conventional, your rate's going to be terrible. If you're in 720, you're going to get a good rate, but FHA with a 720 will always get a lower rate.
Very
But
nice.
conventional is the better long-term loan.
So I was talking to an investor, somebody that wants to start investing, and he stated that so when he's doing the loans, he wants to do conventional 20% down every time that he buys a property, so that he can have some margin in terms of the monthly payment and stuff like that. Would you say that's the right way to go when it comes to investments? Sometimes people think, let me just do the minimum so that I can own more homes. But you could, get yourself into a situation where, I don't know, something breaks in the house and now you have to spend more money than what you can actually do monthly based on the rental rates compared to the mortgage. So would you say, like, if you have money and you want to buy more than one property instead of buying them cash, would you go 20% and then 20% again for your second one and third? Is that the way you would do it if, it was you?
My advice when buying real estate as an investment is you want to put down the minimum that gets you the payment you want, right? Because once you go over 30% down, the interest rate doesn't change anymore. So really between 20 and 30 is the magic number. My advice is if you can put down 20.
I'm sorry, let me bring you back.
Yeah.
What do you mean by after 30%, the rate doesn't change anymore? What do
Okay,
you mean by
so great question. So if you're doing a loan, like say an investment loan with Fannie Mae, and you put down 20%, you'll get one rate. You put down 25%, you'll get slightly better rate. You put down 30%, you get a slightly better rate. Some lenders will give you even a tiny bit better with 35% down, but nothing changes after that, which means the only benefit to putting down more money is if you want to lower the payment, right? But it's about $5 a thousand or $15 for an eighth of a point, things like that. So you do the math. If I put down another $20,000 and I'm only saving $5, right? Then I'm saving what, $100 a month? I would rather, as an investor, take that extra 20 grand and buy another house.
Understood.
So put down as least as you can to still cash flow and use the money to buy another property.
Very good.
With Carlos.
Okay. Yeah, with me, guys. I'm available.
He does real estate.
So now that we're talking about buying, let's go ahead and get into this new buyer agreement. So, all right. So you get a real estate agent that you like, and you suddenly want to work with him, and the real estate agent pulls out this agreement that used to exist before. Okay. Buyer agreements are not a new thing. They used to exist before. The difference is that people didn't really use them. A lot of realtors didn't use them. The buyer agreement basically binds you with the realtor. It means that you can't work with another realtor. So why did they not use it before? Because it wasn't required, right? If you get under contract with me, you find a house that you like, you get under contract with me, I don't need that buyer agreement. It's just a piece of paper. I didn't use it as a realtor ever. Why? Because, it just felt like I was tying them up. Instead, I like to show them that I can do the job of finding them a home, making sure that I, explain everything, educate them, all the good things.
You
right?
had to create trust.
Right. And I didn't want to just present them with something up front. At least personally, that's what I would do.
Right.
And, that's why we didn't use it. But now you have to do it. And they also added a section to the buyer agreement that talks about the commission that the agent will be paid. So here's what I'm doing with my clients so you guys understand how this works. And so basically, once you get that buyer agreement, the realtor is going to put in there the commission that they want to be paid. That commission can be paid by you, the buyer, but you don't have to pay it. It's your choice.
That's the key.
So it's important that you understand that. If you have a realtor that wants you to pay it, they should be telling you that and they should be presenting it to you on that contract. So should you be reading this contract instead of just signing it? Yeah, absolutely. Read it. Make sure that you understand it fully. Make sure that you know what your part is on the contract in terms of what you have to pay. In my situation, personally, if you don't want to pay commission, I'm okay with that. Why? Because I know that the sellers, especially in today's market, are gonna offer commission. Most sellers are. If they're not, a lot of times it's a problem. They're just I don't know what seller is not offering, and it's complicated, guys. There's no way that you're not gonna offer commission and sell the house. It just doesn't work that way unless you have the number one house in all of town and both realtors that you're working with are idiots. I don't know. It shouldn't work that way. Most sellers, in this case, so far, I have not met one that is not offering commission because they all want to sell. So when I talk to the homeowners, right? Let's say Frank is a homeowner. We get on the contract. As I'm talking to them, we're talking about the commission that homeowner is going to pay on this sale. In this case, let's say 5%, for example. Out of that 5%, we're going to offer some of that percentage to the buyer, to the buyer's agent. So that is the agreement that we have created. We're gonna have a paper on it, and then the buyer's agent is supposed to make sure that they ask about it, make sure that they, figure out how they're gonna get paid as they get the offer through from the buyer.
Yep.
So in other words, where does things get complicated? Well, if you don't trust your realtor, if you don't feel good about them, don't sign this agreement. If you don't understand the agreement, if they didn't explain the agreement, don't sign the agreement. Look for a different realtor. I'm looking for buyers, by the way, if you want to work. And let me tell you about my agreement. In my agreement, so how do you cancel this agreement, right? Which is the most important part that you need to know in case the realtor doesn't do their job. Well, there's a cancellation fee. This cancellation fee with Keller Williams, Remax, EXP, all these big name companies are probably going to be somewhere around $1,000 to $2,500 if you want to cancel with them.
Whoa! I didn't know this. So you're telling me if somebody signs a buyer broker agreement, it'll state in there too. It'll say if you want to cancel this within cancellation. So many months. What is it? That's 6 months or something like that?
Right. You know what? I should have brought up.
I didn't know that.
I should have brought up. Let me go to the main. I should have brought up the agreement on screen. That would have been a really good idea, but I might do it on the next episode because this is going to be something that we're going to talk about.
But
more
that is
more
typical.
Often. So in the regular agreement, even in the listing agreement, there is a cancellation fee. Why? In the listing agreement, I understand them more because you're putting in small investments. In my case, I pay for the professional photography. I pay for the post, for the sign. All these things are approximately, $600 to $700 of a small investment that you make up front to make sure the house gets sold. On the buyer side, you don't really make any investment. You make sweat investment. You got to go out there, show houses. It's a hard job. Showing, houses, being a buyer's agent is a hard job. I'm not saying that is, that they don't make an investment, so they shouldn't. No, it's a very hard job, respectable job. I've done it for a very, very long time. And you need buyer's agents, guys. Like, we can't work without them. They're needed. You can't get an AI substitute for a buyer's agent.
No.
But basically, in this agreement, there's going to be a cancellation. And on that cancellation fee, in my agreement, when you sign with me, with Carlos Rojas, it's $0.
Oh, see, that's a benefit.
So in other words, if I don't do my job, if you don't like working with me, whatever it is, you just rip the agreement apart. You can fire me. I don't know. Honestly, I tell my clients, listen, I like to know why we don't want to work together anymore. And I'm open to any conversation because I like criticism. I want to know if I did something wrong. So I like open communication with my clients, and I try to state that from the beginning. But the point is that if there is no fee up front, in my case, which is what I do with my buyers, then I give them the same freedom that they had before. They just have to sign it because that's what our brokers are requiring. And that's what the new law requires when you work with a buyer's agent. So is there anything else that I didn't cover?
I definitely have something to say on this.
What's up?
So here's why you should not be scared to sign the buyer broker agreement with Carlos or any other buyer's agent. Carlos just said it very well. You are in control. You as the buyer get to choose what property you want to buy. So if a seller is not willing to pay the buyer's agent commission, which means it would fall to you as the buyer, and you don't want to pay it, then it's simple. You don't buy that house.
That's right.
You are always in control. I just had 2 clients from realtor partners of mine this week who did not want to sign the buyer broker agreement. I got on the phone with them personally in 5 minutes, explained to them from a second voice, unrelated voice, that they are not required to buy any house and they're not required to pay anything if they don't buy that house. I didn't even know that you could waive this fee that you would get charged as a buyer.
Yeah.
But remember, buyers, you're in control.
You
That's
are.
what I told them.
You are.
And that is what got them to sign it. So guys, don't be scared to sign it. You can sign that form. You ultimately make the decision on whether you are going to buy that house and if you're going to pay commission or not. So let's go. It's business as usual.
And it's very important for you guys to understand that your realtor is not your employer. Okay?
Nope.
You're not paying your realtor by the hour. Your realtor is like a business partner helping you make a good decision on the purchase of your home. They don't even get paid until you close on this home. So it's on everybody's interest, both the buyers and the agent, to get that house to close. So what does this mean? This means that you have the full control of what happens. So what happens if you're in a situation where you need to cancel because you hate this, real estate agent, they didn't do their job, and you feel like, well, I got cheated and now I got to wait 6 months to buy because that's when my contract expires. No. In that contract states both responsibilities that belong to the agent as well as the responsibilities that belong to the buyer. So basically, if the agent did not do their job, they should not, by contract, they should cancel because that's what you want. And you don't even need to be paying that fee because you can threaten to sue them based on the fact that they did not do their job. Now, in terms of, lawsuits and stuff like that, you better have paperwork. You better have text messages, evidence. You better have some type of emails. So this is why it's important, guys, that you choose the right agent. It's why it's important that you work with the right people. It's like 20% of us that probably do a decent job out there. It's a bunch of licensed people that don't do the job, both on the mortgage industry as well as real estate. There's people out there that can turn on a camera and sound nice. There's girls out there that look really cute in front of a camera, and they look like they're selling a bunch of houses that actually belong to other agents. I mean, there's all sorts of people
Seen that
out
TV
there.
show? No.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. Yeah, and let me just tell you, it's nothing like the TV show, especially for a regular type of market. So, in other words, get informed, get the right agent, get to work, and don't be afraid. As long as you have somebody like me or Frank by your side, we'll educate you. You'll know your numbers ahead of time. You'll be ready to buy.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Right, Frank?
Hell yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into what
do we got?
Let's do the.
Oh,
Let's start with the local news.
Hold on, wait. Before are we moving out of real estate real quick?
Yeah. What do you want?
I want to bring up a couple things real quick.
ahead,
I had
go
a couple notes for today. I love the buyer broker agreement. We talked rates. A big announcement: doctor loans, and I haven't even told you, so you get to hear the announcement right now.
Yeah. Let's go.
Doctor loans.
Doctor loans.
Here's what you need to know about financing if you are a doctor or a professional. What that means is nurse practitioners, CPAs, attorneys, doctors, anything that's an ologist, basically, you now can qualify for 100% financing, no money down, with no mortgage insurance, no PMI.
Wow.
A brand new program was just released. Before, only a couple banks were doing this. Now you can get this on the wholesale side. No money down. You just have to be a professional, like one of the people I just mentioned. All you have to do is give Carlos a call.
I'm gonna promote this one.
There you go. Go to contactfrankthebank.com. Doctor loans, veterinarian loans, professionals, CPAs, attorneys, 100% financing, no PMI, right here with Frank the Bank.
What about the rate?
It's good. So the rate on these is actually an adjustable
market
rate.
or
It's market. It's an adjustable, and I like it because we all know the rates are going to go down pretty soon. So you're going to start with a rate probably in the high to mid sixes. I tell you what, I'll promise you, it'll be lower than what Google says. How about that?
Okay, I do know that some people are gonna, have some questions on that because they're a little bit afraid of the adjustable rate.
Yep.
So, what about can you refinance that
Yes.
loan? How long do you need to have it before you can refinance?
There is actually no penalty to refinance. You have to make 6 payments on the loan, which you will do before you refi. And then there's a slight other little clause that we'll talk to you about when we get your private scenario. But it's phenomenal. The rates are short-term ARMs, so they are cheaper, and we know you're going to refi.
Very nice.
The beauty is 100% no PMI. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. That sounds really great.
Yep.
All right. And is that it?
The only other thing that's new out there are jumbo loans. Jumbo loans means anything over about $850,000.
Yeah.
Brand new investor just came into the market, and we just locked a 6.25%, 6.5% APR jumbo loan for $1.4 million.
Wow.
So the crazy thing is the jumbo loans have lower rates than what Google's advertising for a regular $200,000
Listen,
loan.
guys, everything has lower rates than what Google advertises.
Please.
So yeah, this is why we put it up on the screen so you guys can look at what happens when you search it. But always check in with us to make sure that you get the best rate as possible.
Yep.
All right, let's get into a little bit of local news here. A couple got robbed.
What?
After they hit jackpot at a casino and suddenly they get robbed.
How big was the jackpot? Do you know?
I don't know, but maybe the news does. Let's go ahead and go over it right here.
A joyous date night at the casino ends violently as a Bay Area couple goes from celebrating a big win to feeling lucky to be alive. They were followed home from the Hard Rock only to be shot and robbed once they got home. Fox 13's Genevieve Curtis spoke with the couple tonight about this harrowing crime and apparently a bit of a long road to recovery ahead of them, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely have a healing journey ahead of them, Mark. It was a horrific ordeal for this couple. Both of them shot in their legs outside of their home. They tell me their life will never be the same, but it all started with a great date night, and they told me they were so wrapped up in enjoying that time together that they didn't even notice they were being followed. We want to warn you that some of this video that you are about to watch might be difficult.
We're watching the video right now, Instagram.
I hear another gunshot, and my first thought was, they've killed him. I was hysterical, screaming, crying.
These are the terrifying moments when a Riverview couple was ambushed in their driveway. Both of them shot by masked men demanding money. The chilling Ring doorbell video captures Val de la Cruz, who was shot in both legs, pleading with the suspects, standing over him with two guns. One of them covers the camera. A neighbor came outside, and the men ran back to the car and drove away.
I can't even sleep.
Val is in unbearable pain, unable to walk, and doctors say it could be 6 months. His girlfriend, Kim Chambliss, was shot in her calf. The couple says Thursday, August 1st, started off as their monthly date night.
We don't get to do it often just because we both work extremely hard.
The couple capped off the night at the Hard Rock Casino. Val joked he needed to win money back from dinner and drinks.
I hit and I got a jackpot. And, I was dancing.
Not once to press their luck, the couple cashed out with about $3,000 in winnings and drove home to Riverview. Investigators say these two men, Marcus Jenkins and Tristan Wright, were watching them the whole time.
We're just average people, who are out having a good time, who love each other and enjoying each other's company. And to know that we didn't even realize that people were following us every step of the way. It's scary. It's scary.
This is
How many
disgusting.
people did they do that to?
Investigators say the suspects followed the couple throughout the casino for 2 hours and then all the way to their home, where they robbed the couple of Val's watch and jewelry and took Kim's purse. But the couple says they lost much more than that.
We've always felt safe in our home, safe in the neighborhood. To have that taken away, to have just such an insecure feeling.
That's so
Now, Val
traumatizing.
owns his own company, and as you can imagine, it is difficult to work right now.
Traumatizing, man.
Followed home from the casino. They won $3,000 on a slot machine. These scumbags followed him home from the casino and shot him in his front yard to take that money. I don't even have words for this, Carlos.
Neither do I. It's just a sad story all around. This people are going to be traumatized with that. I don't know that they'll ever be able to go to the casino again.
I hope Hard Rock sends them $3,000.
That would be really nice.
That would be a nice story, right?
I think that Hard Rock should probably do something about it. I mean,
it's not their fault, but still.
Well, it's not their fault, but the fact that they had a couple of criminals in their institute and that they were watching, and I mean, there's cameras everywhere. And what are they looking for? Somebody that is cheating them or winning or stuff like that. So I mean, security. They have enough money to have big security, suspicious activity, all that type of stuff, and they didn't catch this.
Right.
So I mean, did this guys just get in there, watch, and follow them home after they won?
Yeah.
I mean, is this something that is happening more often?
That's exactly what's going through my. Do you know how many times I've gone in there and I've cashed out and I walked out of that place and never thought I'm gonna start paying attention to that.
Well, you
know
have
one
to
thing.
now. Like, could you imagine? Like, just you can't celebrate. Think about this story. Makes me feel like if I'm at the casino and I win, I can't celebrate.
Yeah. Except for the fact all the bells and whistles are going off and it's like ding, 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 ding. Like,
Oh yeah, I just won $1.
you're like, oh yeah, this sucks. Somebody turn these things off.
Dang, man. But sad story. I mean, I can feel their pain just looking at them. Luckily, the guy's gonna walk again 6 months. I mean, honestly,
Like he has his life, man.
if I'm him, I'd be thanking the Lord, man, because they could have shot him in the stomach. They could have shot him, somewhere.
Yeah.
They could have killed him.
They
For sure.
absolutely
The
could've.
fact that they're both alive, from what we just saw, that's pretty incredible.
That was crazy.
So that's
I'm
a
glad the
blessing
guys
right
are in
there.
custody.
Yeah, they need to look at the upside of things and hopefully, come on, Hard Rock, like throw a few. If I'm Hard Rock, I would throw like 500,000 at them. I'm just if I got money like
10
that,
grand at least.
I would throw 500,000. Like, bro, six months no walking. You never forget about this. This is a big deal. I mean, honestly, maybe they can sue. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I know it's not Hard Rock's fault, but I feel like there's some type of responsibility there in terms of just, what did this security do? Whether nobody
You
can see
gotta
this.
like think it through. The guys were leaving the Hard Rock. These guys had to see them win inside. That means that this was like the guys somebody had to be waiting like outside with the car and the other guys following and on a cell phone and being like, all right, this is where we are. This is where the car. You know what I'm saying? It's not. That's.
I'll tell you what.
complicated.
Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I just came from Las Vegas and they took all my money, so I'm not. I don't like casinos right now. Let's go into the next news. Georgia court has something to say about the counts from the 2020 election. Let's hear this.
We have not met the obligations of the motion from the hearing of SEB 2023-025. Therefore, this case should be referred to the Attorney General with the instruction to immediately investigate with outside investigators the missing 17,852 ballot images, the 3,125 duplicated recount votes, and the missing documents proving that 10 scanners containing 20,713 votes were legally used at early voting sites during the election as listed in the complaint. Based on the advice of counsel, I believe the Attorney General may be conflicted and should seek advice of conflicts counsel to determine who should represent the state election board in investigating this matter. The Attorney General shall report their findings in 30 days to the state election board. If they are unable or unwilling to conduct this focused investigation, they should report to the state election board immediately, report it to the state election board immediately so that we may hire outside legal counsel and investigators to complete the investigation.
Wow.
I'm finished.
The letter of reprimand has already been received by Fulton County. You can't undo that at this point. Action's already been taken. There's also a principle in law that I've been advised of called res judicata. It's double jeopardy for criminal cases. It's res judicata for civil cases where you can't be tried twice for the same thing. Fulton County's been tried. Fulton County's been heard by this board. This board ruled on that on May the 7th. As I stated earlier, there is potential litigation on this. The Attorney General is the appropriate counsel for this board. This is a government board, the state of Georgia board. The Attorney General is our counsel for this. I haven't been advised by any outside counsel. I have not sought the advice of any outside counsel because the Attorney General represents this board. They represent me. They represent each member of this board. I have not seen any letters from outside counsel. So the chair's position, my position, is that that case has been adjudicated, that Fulton County has met its obligation. The Secretary of State met their part of the obligation. This board's failed to meet its portion of that obligation.
I move that we refer this case to the Attorney General with instruction to immediately investigate with outside investigators
So this is the head of the board fighting them on trying to get the investigation.
missing documents, the duplicated counting of ballots, and the missing ballot images listed in the complaint. And I would request a report back in 30 days of their findings. And if they are unwilling or unable to conduct an investigation, then I
Instagram, we'll catch
move
you up
that
on
we
this in just a
seek
minute.
outside legal counsel that can conduct the investigation.
Once again, the chair is going to rule that motion out of order.
Oh, he's
For
fighting.
reasons previously stated, that case has been adjudicated by this board on May the 7th.
I move to override the motion of the chair, the decision of the chair.
Second.
Oh,
We have a motion to override the decision of the chair, and we have a second. I do want to caution this board that we are putting this board in legal jeopardy by approving that,
oh wow.
that motion. I want to make sure that the Attorney General is aware of that. And the chair will call for a individual voice vote on that motion. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we will go in order of seniority. Member Gazal, how do you vote?
Nay.
Member Johnston, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chairman votes nay. Member Jeffries, how do you vote? Aye. Member King, how do you vote?
Aye.
The motion passes.
Huh.
Once again, I
They passed
caution this board on their actions.
3-2.
And please make sure that the actual votes are in the record for any future potential litigation.
Wow. So let me catch up Instagram real quick on this.
Yeah,
because
so
they couldn't hear.
let
that.
me just say this
Yeah,
real
go.
quick. So the Georgia State Election Board just voted 3-2 to override the decision of Rhino Chairman John Fervier to authorize the reopening of the investigation into the 17,000 missing ballot images and over 3,000 duplicate votes counted in the 2020 election in Fulton County.
So, well, Carlos just said it basically, guys, is we just watched the video of the Fulton County Election Board where the chairman of the board was doing everything he could to keep them from opening an investigation. Apparently, there's enough information that they have over 20,000 votes in question, which ironically is exactly what Donald Trump was saying during that infamous call where he got in trouble with the governor, where he was saying, find the votes, find the votes. He wasn't saying to fraud votes. He was saying, there's something wrong. My people are telling me something's wrong. We need to find the votes. Yeah. And this is now almost 4 years later. And they're just now approving it. So, Carlos, I wonder, and maybe this question's been answered, what happens if they find these votes or they verify these and it flips Georgia to Trump? I don't think Georgia alone wins him the election, but does that not mean that it invalidates the Electoral College votes and that should be awarded officially to Trump?
I tell you what, man, it's just
this is crazy.
Outrageous that it would even happen to begin with. I think every single American vote in this country should be, done correctly.
Right.
I think we should have the right people in this type of jobs to make sure that everything is done in a way where it's,
Bro, it's 2024.
Dude,
like,
it's just...
either do it by paper the way we've done it for 200 years, or just make it easy. One vote per social security number. You go online, you verify that you've got your freaking... It's your social, your vote. If there's any contesting, then you literally print it out and send in your vote.
Right, it should be...
There you go.
It should be a public thing in a lot of ways, I would think.
You just nailed it. I got in this argument last night with somebody. Why the hell do we have the dumbest national holidays that we close everything for, but the most important day that only happens one time every 4 freaking years, we can't give everybody the day off? Right. We told people they couldn't go to work for freaking months and lose their businesses because of a fake freaking virus scare, yet we can't give them one day to go. That's the way it should be. Unless you're overseas fighting or in the hospital, you go and vote in freaking person. And even if you are in the hospital, you roll somebody around to the rooms and they still vote in person.
Yeah, absolutely. I think voting is so important, guys. And especially on this elections and probably in the future elections as well. I think it should definitely be a national holiday. I also think that, we could get into conversations of what age should vote or not. But if you're not allowed to drink at 18, I don't know that you should be allowed to vote either. I think unless you own a house, unless you have a family, unless you have some type of responsibilities and at least pass a test where you understand American history and how this country works, I don't know that you should have the right to vote personally.
Could we start with an ID?
Yeah.
How about that?
It's not a joke. And the fact that this stuff is happening and there's evidence of it, and that we see other countries like Venezuela where, their turnover right now because of the situation similar to this, but obviously a much bigger case. We should have our eyes wide open to evil and corruption in this country.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn right.
We're going to close this out, guys, with a message from a former Democrat. This lady used to be a Democrat, and she actually decided to do an investigation and open her eyes. And let's listen to what she has to say.
I am a former Democrat. Unlike Kamala Harris, I'm an actual real-life black woman. I stand here before you today because I'm tired. I'm tired of the Democrats using the generational trauma of my people to garner votes. They invoke fear. They tell me I'm oppressed. They tell me I'm less than. They tell me I'm not good enough. And they tell me that my white brothers and sisters in Christ are my enemy. No. They are not.
Yeah, damn right!
I'm doing worse under this administration than in Donald Trump's administration, but I'm told to be afraid of a man who made my life better?
That just makes no sense.
Make it make sense. During COVID, I knew more of my white guy friends that lost their jobs than me and my black girlfriends. We are the same in this country. Let's vote for Donald Trump so we can all be prosperous again. Let's get out of this fear.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is We the People, a real estate podcast